My dad walked in holding a 21-year-old's hand and said, "She's your new mom." So my real mom smiled, filed first, and left him broke, alone, and begging to come back. I'm 18. Just a regular high school senior, trying to get through finals and figure out my future. Last Friday, everything in my life tilted sideways. It was around 7 p.m. My mom had just finished making dinner: grilled chicken, garlic mashed potatoes, the usual comfort meal. She always cooked on Fridays. It was her way of winding down the week, keeping the family together. My younger brother, 14, was setting the table. I was on the couch scrolling through my phone. We were all waiting on Dad. The front door opened. My dad walked in, dressed like he was going to a beach bar. Untucked shirt, too much cologne, wearing sunglasses indoors. Behind him was this girl. Blonde, tan, tiny, and clearly not someone we knew. She couldn't have been more than a couple years older than me. She was holding his hand, giggling like she'd just won concert tickets. He dropped his keys on the counter and said, like it was some kind of big reveal, "This is your new mom." No hesitation. No shame. He looked right at my mother and added, "I'm divorcing you. I'm done with this family." My brother froze. I stood up, not really understanding what I was seeing. My mom. She just stared at him. Her lips parted slightly, like she wanted to speak but couldn't find the words. She had made him dinner, lit a candle on the table. All of that for this. The girl didn't say a word, just clung to his arm and smiled like she was proud of herself. "I've packed what I need," Dad continued, almost bored with the whole scene. "I'll send someone for the rest." Then he turned around, gave that girl a kiss right in front of us, and walked out the door with her. He didn't even take his wedding ring off. That night was the quietest our house had ever been. No one cried, not even my mom. She just sat there at the table, staring at the full plates of food like they meant nothing now. I watched her closely, waiting for her to scream, throw something, curse his name, anything. But she didn't. She cleared the dishes, one by one, in silence. Over the next 2 days, she barely spoke. Just did what needed to be done: laundry, checking in on my brother's homework, answering texts like nothing happened. It was almost unsettling. I wanted her to feel something. I wanted her to fall apart so I could help put the pieces back together. Instead, on Monday morning, she woke up early, put on actual makeup for the first time in months, and made herself black coffee. Then she made a call. I don't know who it was, but her tone shifted. Calm, but firm. I remember she said, "I'm ready now. Let's move forward." I had no idea what that meant yet. But looking back, that was the moment the wheels started turning. She didn't fall apart. She was planning something, and we had no idea what was coming. After that surreal weekend, things in the house were oddly still. But not like before. It wasn't the silence of shock anymore. It was more like a storm quietly gathering power. My mom moved like someone on a mission, except no one could quite tell what the mission was. She didn't rant to friends. She didn't post anything online. No drama. And occasionally disappearing into the study for hours. Then, one evening, I walked into her room to leave her some tea. She was sitting on the floor, surrounded by old filing boxes. One had our family's old tax returns. Another had printed spreadsheets, contracts, binders, things I barely understood. "Need help?" I asked. She smiled, just a little. "No, honey, I've got it." What I didn't know then was that my mom had helped build my dad's company when they were young. She wasn't just a stay-at-home mom who watched things from the sidelines. She was the one who kept the books, structured the deals, managed the back end while he played the face of the business. And she never gave up access. Emails, banking logins, contracts, expense reports, even encrypted documents. She had it all. I don't think my dad ever imagined she'd use any of it. That week, she called someone she used to work with, an old friend with legal contacts. The next day, she met with an attorney. By the time I figured out what she was up to, she had already printed screenshots, itemized bank transfers, and gathered years of evidence. Not just of the affair, but of funds being siphoned off, hidden accounts, misclassified transactions, stuff that screamed fraud. She wasn't just angry. She was methodical. One night, she said it out loud. "He thinks he walked away with everything. He doesn't realize he left the real power behind." There was no rage in her voice, just quiet confidence. I asked her if she missed him. She shook her head. "I missed him for years, long before he ever left. Now, I'm just cleaning up." Meanwhile, we started hearing little things through family friends. My dad was living in a rented townhouse on the edge of the city. The girl, his new soulmate, had posted a picture of a champagne bottle on Instagram with the caption *fresh starts. Gross. But the comments weren't what she expected. People from their circle were confused, judging, whispering. Apparently, a few of my dad's longtime business partners had stopped replying to him. One even blocked him. Mom didn't react to any of that. She just kept organizing, documenting, meeting with her lawyer. She filed for divorce first. Beat him to it. And she wasn't asking for half. She was going for everything. At school, I kept my head down. But at home, I watched this woman, my mother, rebuild herself into something steel-edged and stunning. Not cold, not bitter, just focused. And as weird as this sounds, I stopped feeling sorry for us. Because even though my dad had walked out like he'd won, it was becoming clearer each day. He had absolutely no idea what he just lost. About 10 days after Dad walked out, everything flipped. It started with a letter, an official one, served to him at his new place. My mom had filed for divorce, but not just the standard kind. The petition included financial misconduct, adultery, asset concealment, and receipts to back it up. He tried calling. She didn't pick up. She wasn't being petty, just intentional. That same week, she contacted the board of his company. She had proof of him misusing company funds for personal expenses, private trips, luxury gifts for his new girlfriend, even a wire transfer to a hidden account he thought no one knew about. Turns out, she had known for years. She just didn't act until now. The fallout was quick. His partners scheduled an emergency meeting. The board voted to suspend him pending further review. His access was frozen. The face of the company, gone in a week. Meanwhile, back home, things were shifting. Mom was still calm, but you could tell something inside her had clicked back into place. She started laughing more with my brother. She took out old photo albums, dusted off her treadmill, and even repainted the guest room. One day I asked her, "Why now? Why didn't you leave first?" She paused for a moment and said, "Because I wanted to make sure when I walked away, I never had to look back." And she meant it. Then came the part that truly felt like justice. My dad owned a vintage car. Not a practical one, just a flashy, overpriced collectible he loved more than any of us growing up. He kept it in the garage like a trophy, waxed it every Sunday. Always said he'd never sell it, not even for $1 million. Well, technically, the title was in both their names. She sold it. She didn't ask for permission, just signed the papers, finalized the deal, and deposited the money. The day it was towed away, she stood in the driveway watching it leave. No expression, just a quiet moment. That money? She used it to pay for my little sister's college tuition in full. The college she thought we'd never be able to afford. Now Dad's sitting in a small rental with a girl who, rumor has it, is already getting bored. She didn't sign up for stress, legal bills, or Ubering everywhere. His cards are getting declined. His contacts won't call him back. His fresh start looks a lot like a dead end. And my mom? She just accepted a position with a firm that, ironically, used to be one of my dad's biggest clients. They reached out to her. Asterisk, not asterisk the other way around. She didn't even celebrate. Just smiled and said, "Let's get to work." Sometimes I still sit and think about the night it all started. When he walked in with that girl and said, "Meet your new mom." Like she was just another item he could swap out. But now, seeing everything unfold, I realize the real power wasn't in walking away. It was in what she did after. She didn't scream. She didn't break. She didn't post a single thing online. She simply took everything back.